In the shadow of the digital gulag, we fire up the truth cannon and blast through the lies.
And the show host, Baraka Amuri.
Ladies and gentlemen, patriots of the free world, truth seekers, warriors, welcome back to the information war. And guys, this is not a regular segment. This is not your grandma's news hour. No, this is not that. This is unfiltered, uncensored, unapologetic broadcast that tears through the deception and tell you the real nuggets. And guys, this is a segment that they don't want you to know. My team and I have to dig so hard to get this information. They try to bury this through the layers of distractions, through the layers of distortion, through the layers of this digital surveillance, digital sedation. And of course, we're good at digging. We dug it up, wiped the dust, and we're here to deliver to you right in your cerebral cortex. So then you might be able to think about it as well, battle with it and all these sort of thing. And I have to put it out there, this is not a drill. I like that word, you know, we're working on a merch, as you already know, we're working on this merch. I'm not sure when we're gonna launch, but the team and I, we're working on it hard. And one of you guys said, hey Barak, why don't you put this is not a drill, because you say that all the time. And I was like, wow, that is so cool. And I can't wait for that merch to once it's done, I can't wait to be wearing it and be like, this is not a drill. Maybe this is not a speculation, or maybe this is not a conspiracy. That would be cool. Definitely something I'm gonna be wearing very, very soon. And I can't wait for you to be able to wear your own as well. Oh, I'm so excited for the merch to drop. I'll let you know once everything's finalized and the store and all this thing. So then you guys can go, because as you already know, the channel is demonetized. So for you to support the channel is to put the armor of truth on. So then you may stand. Oh man, okay. All right, let's not get into scriptures, guys. Man, news story, big story here. I need to break it down to you. The numbers are in. Yes, the numbers are in, and I have to deliver it to you. I have to tell you how they are coming out. They're not looking so good. They're not looking so good, because last year, or maybe a couple of months ago, people are whispering, people are saying, hey Barak, people are making their own videos and saying, oh, Britain is on the blink, or civil war might erupt, this, oh, civil war here, civil here. It was just whispers. Yes, it was just whispers. People just making videos and connecting the dots and just saying what they think might happen. But guys, enough of this whispering, enough of the thinking. Is happening. We have the numbers. The numbers, yes. Now let's read it to you. 1 in 5 Britons say they are ready to take off political violence to reverse what they see as a national decline. 1 in 5, yes. So if you put it into maths, that's basically 20% of the population is ready. Yeah, so it's no longer a conspiracy. No, it's no longer a drill. Oh yes, it's no longer a whispering. No, there's numbers on it. There's people living and breathing here, ready to go. They say they are ready to take on a political violence to reverse what they see as a national decline. And that's 20% of the population. And folks, that is a lot of people. That's not 2%, that's 20. A lot of people, guys. Now, I want to break this down. Of course, I want to break it down. I want to give you receipts. My team and I, the team did this, brought this up, and they were like, hey, Barak, let's do this video. I think it's important. Nobody's doing it. I was like, hey, what is this? And they're like, hey, what? I'm like, wait, what? Real? There's actually numbers of people ready to go? Like, what? This is important. The nation needs to know this. Right? The nation needs to know. Now, so the first person who broke this story was Brecht Bar. I'm gonna put the link in the description. You can go read their article there. They broke this out and they said, hey, 1 in 5 Britain are willing to engage in a political violence. That's what they said. And they broke the story. Then a much bigger, I would say, a much bigger organization, news organization, is called New Statesman, they picked it up and they did a survey to find out, to actually put the number, to actually put the living creatures in the story. And they did. They went out there and they asked British people, like, hey, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about this? And the number is out, and I'm gonna read it out to you. Here's what they found. And by the way, this is real people. This is real human living in Britain. So it's not like global story. No, it's British. So they asked them. What's your chances of Britain going into a civil war? You know, a violent, the political violence. They asked them, and the 70% fear that political violence is coming. 70% yes. So this is no longer a conspiracy or whispering. It's almost everybody in the country think that is going to happen. It's coming soon. 70%. Alright, then they ask them another question. They say, hey, would you accept a civil war? Would you accept a political violence in the UK right now? And they 21% say yes, it's acceptable under certain conditions. So basically, 21% of the population think that it's okay to go to this. It's okay. We've reached that level where it's like, man, we have to go. It have to be done. That's what people are thinking now. So it's no longer a conspiracy, guys. It's no longer a drill. Yeah, I'm gonna keep saying that. It's no longer a drill. And then they ask them another question, and they say, how likely are you to join? Yeah, 20%. Basically, 18% say yes, but you can round it up to 20%. But like, let's just stick to 18%. And that's 18% of the population say, hey, we're ready to join. Ready to go. Anytime. Tell me the address. Tell me the location. You know, what should I bring with me? 18% of the population think, say they are ready to go. They are ready to take part in this. So enough of the speculation. Oh, this might happen. No, there's real people who are ready to go. Now, of course, and I'm not calling for this. A civil war is the worst thing we can do right now. No, of course we don't want that. We don't want violence in the street. We don't want to destroy what we've built. We don't want roads destroyed and, glass building teared down and, cars petrol bombed. No, we don't want that. Because that doesn't, that sets us, it sets us forward in terms of like present moment. But after the chaos goes, after the smoke goes off, we have to build it again. So that's like, hey, we've just basically went back. So I'm not calling for this. And I think you should not as well. But I avoid talking about this thing, because the more you talk about it, the more it becomes normal into people's brain, the more they start accepting the idea. So I try to avoid talking about this, but sometimes it's unavoidable. You have to recover this story. Because tell me which tell me which YouTuber has covered this with real numbers. Nobody. It's us. And I'm not being cocky here. It's because we cover the story that the nation needs to know. We put it on our chest, we wear it. Now, and they looked at the political parties, and they tried to see which parties have a lot of people who feel the same way. And I'm not surprised. Reform UK had 32% of Reform UK voters say that violence is justified, that they're ready to go, they're ready to take it down. And also the Green Party voters say, 24% of them say, hey, it needs to be done. I don't know why the Green Party would say that. Maybe because a lot of them are like, they're pro-Palestinian, and a lot of them are like, the Palestine Action type of people. So they are also feeling like they are going through something too. So they're like, hey, we're going to go as well. Like, hey, we're going to, the violence as well. We're going to take, struggle, political struggle. We're going to go. Political violence. Yes, let's go. The Green Party also say. But the top one is Reform UK. So a lot of people on the right see that the country is losing its national identity and it's on a national decline, and they say, hey, we are ready to go. So of course, as you already know, Reform is not a baby party anymore. You know, they might be baby blue, but they're not a baby party anymore. So they're mainstream. They got millions of donations coming from, oh shit, coming from the World Economic Forum. I don't know if you know that. I don't know who was. I didn't want to report this. I just felt like, yeah, but yeah, you know, basically, the World Economic Forum has donated to Reform, so they're not a small baby anymore. They're a big party. They're mainstream, and if there are a lot of people who are supporting Reform UK, say, hey, this is a problem. So this is not a fringe problem anymore. It's not like something that's on the right wing and just a couple guys protesting. No, this is a national and this is a mainstream problem now, because it's being broadcast everywhere. And I know a lot of media want to avoid talking about this, but I don't know why, because this is a big problem. If this is not addressed, then we might end up in it, and that's even worse. I don't want that, so I want to report it. If I see a storm heading our way, I'll be like, hey guys, there's a storm heading our way, be ready. You know, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, I don't want to make people, I don't want to upset people, or I don't want them to get scared and stuff and like to panic. No, what you want them to panic so they can get the front end, you know, the cortex in their brain start working and figuring out and start thinking what to do. You know, so it doesn't get to the worst possible scenario. Literally. So that's why I would cover these stories now. Now, of course, there's a lot of chunks. I don't want to just read all this. But the story went further. They asked them a lot of things. Hold on 2 seconds. I'm trying to pick what to tell you here, because everything else you already know. I mean, we know the reason why we're here. Let me just quickly cover it. Not just quickly, but let me just talk about it. We know why we're here. The reason why a lot of people think that we're on a national decline is because they're asylum seeker and the multiculturalism has failed. We can get on top of the mountain and shout that now that multiculturalism has failed. You got some towns in the UK that barely speak English, so it's like, whoa, what is going on? Are we in the UK or are we in like wherever country you can put? So that's one of the reasons. Asylum seekers hotel, illegal migrants, that's obviously a big reason, and the way the government have responded to that. Labour says they're gonna tackle the gang. I don't know which gang they're tackling, but it seems like they're tackling the wrong gang, because the boats are still coming. They tried to do this deal with France, but even though over 1,200 have crossed since they inked the deal, so basically nothing has happened. And of course, they did one arrest. They arrested one guy, and the mainstream media were like, we're on a breaking point now. This is the reverse. Hey, it's gonna be good now. They arrested one guy, or one boat, or one couple guys, and they were celebrating that, hey, we fixed the migrants. And guess what? Many more came the next few days. And the mainstream media just closed their eyes, because it's like, man, talk about it. The problem's still here. But that's why a lot of people are angry, and that's why a lot of people think, well, that's why 70% of the nation fear that political violence is coming. And that's why we're in this mess, right? Now, of course, they did ask people about politicians and political party, and yeah, guys, it was bad. So they asked them if they trust the politicians. So they say politicians are dead, buried. Only 13% believe MPs care about ordinary people. Only 13%, guys. That is bad. Are these guys even, like, is that even a democracy, bro? Like, 13%? At least get 40. No, 13% of people think. Only 13% believe that the people in parliaments care about ordinary people. Yeah, so they really don't care then. So that's not democracy. So you can tell a lot of people don't feel like they're being represented by the member of the parliament. You know, then the constituent is not being properly represented, and there's a lot of reason why to that. First of all, might be conspiracy. But I think when you get in power, you kind of just like close your eyes and just look away. You don't really care about your constituent anymore because you just want to stay there. You know what I mean? And your goal is to make sure there's nobody else more influential in your constituent that rise up. Because if there's no other solution, you're always going to be there. And especially when the election when the election is over, you don't really need to worry about your constituency. You don't really need to worry about them. Because you got like 4 years to mess around until you start caring again. Then they can vote for you again. That's basically what we see. I mean, I got a Labour Party MP here. I've never seen him. I don't know if he lives here, man. I don't even know. I try to reach out to him. I'm like, bro, do you want to come on the show and I can talk a little bit about what's going on in the street? And we can't post this. It's just me and you conversation. But no, he doesn't want to. A reform guy ran here and he lost. And I understand a lot of people are waking up now around my street about Reform UK. So maybe if this guy gives a go again, he might get a chance. But Labour has basically captured this area. Well, basically Labour has captured Manchester for a very long time. And of course, there's some other part in Manchester where it's like, you know, there's like one Tory guy or maybe one other guy from some other party. But Labour has been the dominant, like they've dominated this thing. Maybe one day I might want to change it. No, I'm sorry. I don't want to get into politics. I think you have to be a liar to get in politics. That's why I believe. I think for you to get there, you have to know how to lie. You have to know how to like go in front of the camera and talk shit. That's why I think for you to be a real politician. And if you are true, if you are telling the truth, somehow you don't get anywhere. Like look at Rupert Lowe. He's out there telling the truth, and guess what? He's independent. Why? Because he didn't want to lie for his people. He didn't want to lie for a party. He didn't want to lie to his constituent. You know, because the Reform Party promised us this, and they went there. Now before I just start lying on camera, start lying on podcasts, and you know we got this Mohammed Zia Youssef bringing all his ideas, and when somebody tried to stand up and tell the truth, like Rupert Lowe, guess what? You become an independent. Because no party will take you in. And guess what? They're going to try to put a criminal record on you. They're going to try to put you in jail. Why? Because you told the truth. You stood up. And you stopped lying. So that's why when people say, hey, Barack, will you ever get in politics? I'm like, man, yeah, maybe. If everybody stops lying, then maybe. But I'm not going there to just be a one-man band. Because there's nothing much you can change. There's nothing much you can change as an independent. What can you do? I mean, you can do something for your constituent, but that's not enough. Of course, there's places in the country right now that looks nice and shining, everything running well. But I don't live there. I need every other place to run well and be shining. But we can't get that because everybody else is lying. And guess what? This is what we get where 70% of people in the UK believe that, hey, political violence is coming. That's what they believe. And 18% say, hey, we are ready to go. I got my shoes on. I'm going. That's basically 18% of people are saying. And we're talking about the population. We're not just talking about some random guys playing football and they're like, hey, we're going to go. No, we're talking about like the whole thing. 18% want to go to get involved into a political violence. Guys, that's the news for you. I want you to think about this. Reason it. I mean, it's not good news, but it's an important one. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I don't want to talk too much. There's a lot of things that we can cover here. like this other article that we tried to include here, but I want to ignore that because that talks more about the right side and how the right side is growing. But I think we already know why that is growing, why a lot of people are being recruited into the right wing. Yeah, so let's ignore that. But I'm gonna leave it here. I don't want to do too much information. I just want to focus on this thing that Britain is on the blink and political violence is on the rise. Thank you so much for watching. I want to put my hand on the head, salute. Bye bye, bye bye, bye bye.
And the show host, Baraka Amuri.
The propaganda is thick and the truth is so thin, and the hourglass is almost empty. While the mainstream media program the herd with fear and distractions, we're here to show you the real map. The map they don't want you to see. This whole thing here is not just for entertainment. This is a rescue mission for your souls. So strap yourself in and let's go save the ones that we've lost and wake them up with the truth. Because this is the Baraka Show.